go.
Okay, so we're now in the, we boot up from the CD already. We are already in Microsoft Disk operating system. And you will see an A prompt is a simulated floppy, so you don't really have a floppy disk in your floppy drive as of now, but it will create a virtual floppy, okay, which will contain all the setup files. Okay, so now what I want you to take a look here is the D drive. Okay, currently your CD is assigned the drive letter D. Okay, zoom it in a bit so that you can see. All right, so you'll see a D drive. So you're wondering where is the first device, okay, or the first drive will be A drive, which is your floppy. Okay, B is reserved for a floppy B drive. Okay, which is a bigger floppy. Or you have a second floppy drive, because we used to have a floppy to floppy copying process in the previous years, but now no more. All right, so A and B is reserved for that. For drive letter C, okay, is your reserved for the first letter of your hard disk will be a C. Okay, the next available letter will be assigned to your optical drives, which could be your DVD, which could be your CD. Okay, in this case, it will assign D letter. C is reserved for a hard disk. Okay, so if you're wondering why do we need to format or partition a particular hard drive, the reason being is that if you just bought a new hard disk, chances are that it will not be formatted, or we call it pre-formatted. Okay, or it's been pre-formatted with a particular file system. Okay, so I would like to talk a bit more about a file system. In Windows 95 and 98, or up to Windows Millennium Edition, okay, they're using something called FAT. FAT is not FAT. It's pronounced as FAT, but it stands for File Allocation Table. It has two versions, FAT 16 and FAT 32. Okay, and it's been used by all the Windows systems until Windows Millennium Edition. Okay, which was out in 1999, together with another operating system called, by Microsoft again, Windows 2000. It was out in 1999, and Windows 2000 uses inherited from Windows 3.51 and Windows NT4. They're using something called NT file system, which stands for NTFS. Okay, which has more security features, like you can have usernames. Different users have different private files, so that you cannot go and click on your brother's files or your father's file, and they cannot see your private folders. Okay, so NTFS is more secure, whereas on the FAT file system, everybody is visible. All the files are visible to every user, which is not very secure. So Microsoft has developed NTFS. Another reason is that FAT cannot see beyond particular file or particular size of a hard disk. Remember that nowadays our hard disk are becoming more and more bigger. Okay, 500 gigabyte, 640 gigabyte, and then we're up to 1 terabyte. Okay, so we need a file system that can address that kind of space. Okay, so FAT is it's an older legacy technology. NTFS can address or see up to 2 exabyte, which is a very, very big amount of data on the hard drive. Okay, a very big hard disk. So it can address up to 2 exabyte, whereas FAT has a limitation of up to, I think, 120 gigabyte. Okay, beyond that it cannot see anymore. So even if you have a 500 gigabyte drive, if you format it with FAT file system, it will not be able to use it or use the entire drive. Okay, that's the reason why we need to know. We need to format. Okay, right now we'll install Windows 98, and our hard disk, as you have seen, is 84 something megabyte, which is equivalent to about 8 gigabyte. Okay, so what I want to do is right now I will partition my drive to 2 partitions, C and D, so that the next time I reboot, my drive letter should become E, because C and D has been used for the hard drive letters, and the next available letter is E. That is why it will be assigned letter E, the optical or the CD-ROM drive. Okay,